One in Three is intended for mature audiences. Episodes contain explicit content and may be triggering as they often include violence and other varying forms of abuse such as emotional, psychological, sexual, and physical. In most cases, names have been changed to protect all involved. Please note, statements and opinions of guests do not necessarily reflect those of my own. Hi, Warriors. Welcome to One in Three. I'm your host, Ingrid. Today's episode is an interesting one. My guest, Tara, is a domestic violence survivor who not only allowed herself the space to heal from her past trauma, but has stepped into helping others heal as well. She now works as an intuitive healer, and our conversation explores what that really means and what healing can look like beyond the traditional path. Join us for this deeply honest and fascinating discussion. Hi, Tara. Thank you so much for joining me, and welcome to One in Three.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited. Our prior conversation was beautiful. I've been waiting for this moment to connect with you again, and honored, absolutely honored to get to be here in this space with you, with your listeners, with your community. It's truly a blessing.
And we are all happy to have you. I know when we spoke in our pre-interview, I was telling you that I have a huge interest in accents, and I was super excited to sort of figure out where you were from, but I missed it by a little bit. I think I said Canada, but
you did.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it was close.
You missed it only by 10 miles. So
yes.
you were really close.
That was really good. That was really good. Okay. So we know that you're not Canadian, but could you share a little bit more about yourself just so we can get to know you some?
Yeah, absolutely. So I live far north, central Minnesota all my life. This is where I've been, haven't left. And I was going to go on, but I'm going to just not go on about that. We don't need to know why I'm still here. So as Ingrid said, my name is Tara. I'm an intuitive healer. I am married to my husband today that I love and I'm blessed to have in my life. I'm a mom of 3 incredible boys that I love, and I have a daughter-in-law. I am a dog mom and a chicken mom, and I love helping women to step into their authenticity by releasing all the trauma blockages, the energetic blockages, things from past lives, this life, passed down energetically, any of those imprints that are keeping them stuck out of alignment with their truth, not able to speak their truth, not able to be their truth. I help them clear it out and release it so that they can finally step into being the woman that they desire to be.
Yes, that's perfect. I don't know that we talked about chickens. Did we?
Probably not.
I have chickens too. That's what I got. And mine just started upping their laying, and they slow down over the winter, and they had slowed down quite a bit. And now I think I have like 4 dozen eggs in my house. I'm just eating eggs for every meal. But okay, so back to you. And so you have personal experience with trauma, and that's one of the reasons that you kind of went into this whole learning how to cleanse yourself of trauma, correct?
Yeah. A lot of people call it a dark night of the soul. I'd never heard that until I stepped into my spiritual journey and became the healer that I'd always been meant to be. So I've had a lot of dark nights of the souls where I've lost myself, where I've really been in that space of trying to figure out, does life really matter? What am I here for? What's the purpose of being here? Is it going to ever improve? And there's been a lot of traumatic experiences that I've experienced, from loss of death, from rapings, from violent domestic assault. There's been a number of things that I've experienced.
Yeah. And you don't have to go into full detail about each of those experiences, but I know for the listeners, it is nice to hear somebody that they can actually relate to, and to understand that you're not just this person who's talking about trauma, who's never experienced trauma. You're one of us. And so it wasn't a completely easy journey to cleanse yourself. Can you talk about the healing process and how all of that came about, what made you recognize it had to happen, and what you're doing?
Yeah, it wasn't easy. And I think the most difficult piece of it is I wouldn't allow myself to experience healing. So how I see it when I visualize what the past was like before I allowed myself to step into the space and to heal myself was I was on the outside. It's like I had this bubble, and inside the bubble were all these women, and I was healing them. I was doing the work that I was doing. And this is prior to me becoming an intuitive healer, which resulted as a loss of my baby sister to cancer. And she's the one that guided me into knowing that this was who I was created to be. And prior to that, I was a coach, a weight loss coach. I'd always used healing to help women to lose weight. And there was a lot of trauma that was experienced in those situations as we were moving them through the weight loss journey. And they were inside this bubble. And I was always standing outside, and I would give them, like I see it, like I'd give them all these experiences of healing. I'd help them. They were living life to the fullest. And I was always on the outside of this bubble, wishing that I could have a life like my clients, wishing that I could be one of them, wishing that I could be good enough to receive someone like me, and I could be on the inside of the bubble, and my coach would be on the outside, helping me, guiding me, giving me what I was giving to my women. And losing my sister, stepping into this spiritual journey, becoming an intuitive healer, really discovering and finding myself, allowed me to begin to give myself permission to heal, to forgive myself, because I'd held all of these very traumatic experiences in my life as me being the reason. If I wouldn't have done this, I wouldn't have experienced this. If I wouldn't have been this person said this, showing up here, none of it would have happened. And so I blamed myself, and I held myself responsible for all the hurt that occurred to me. And that made me believe that I didn't deserve happiness, that I didn't deserve love, and any of those high frequency emotions that I truly desired to have.
I think what you just said is something that's probably relatable to so many people. I think everyone is just nodding their heads right now or raising their hands. If you're driving, keep at least one of the hands on the wheel. But but
Knees
yeah,
work.
right. But yeah, permission to heal. That is so huge, because I think that's so beautifully said, because that's exactly what it is. You think, oh, I need to heal something that I'll get to, or maybe it's something you feel like you don't deserve.
Right.
Like you said, you take responsibility for a lot of the things that happen to you. And I think that also makes sense as far as why you, as being somebody who's helping others heal, like you're not allowing yourself that ability to do it yourself. And I think a lot of us who have been, especially, various stages of trauma, but those who have been in abusive relationships do also feel that responsibility of helping those around them. I gave my abuser a lot of, if I do this, it will help him. If I change this, he'll get better. And I really focused on him. And I know that others who are in different relationships, they're focused on everyone else. Perhaps they have an elderly parent that's living with them, or they have children or pets or whatever, that they have to make sure they're all okay before taking care of themselves. Or,
Absolutely.
sorry, I'm going on a tangent.
Oh, it's
On the
great.
flip side, for those of you who are friends or family of somebody who's being abused, you are constantly taking care of them, and at the same time you're not taking care of yourself because you're just so giving. So it's this whole scenario of all these people who are not allowing themselves to heal.
Yeah. And I also like taking it another step further, looking at it that way. Like we think that we care for the people in our lives, we keep them safe, or we keep them happy, or we do right by them, as long as we're always keeping ourselves really good. And so I always think about it like I remember walking around, and I get full goosebumps when I go back to that moment. And I know that some of you women listening to this are going to be triggered by that. And I just am going to ask you to place one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. And the reason why I'm asking you to do that is to calm your central nervous system, just so that it doesn't re-trigger you or bring you into that depth of being back in that place. I've worked enough that I can put myself right back into that spot and I won't spiral out. So, and it started with me calming my central nervous system. But back to what I was saying is being in that space, when I go back there, I remember always just like really almost having horse blinders. My dad I grew up with my dad raising horses, and he would put horse blinders on them. And is like you're walking straight forward and making sure that there's no bomb. Like you're just being very careful for everything you do. I remember just placing my fork down carefully, not eating too fastly, not making too loud of a noise, not saying the wrong thing, always watching for that landmine that I didn't want to step on. And we see that. We see that as a way of protecting people in our life by keeping ourselves good, being the good one, always being aware of how we show up, what we do, chastising ourselves for being ridiculous, for being too loud, for being rude because we would like to take something longer than a 3-minute shower. We look at it that way. So that's another way. And I want to preface that and put that out there because we women don't realize sometimes that that's how we are, and men too. I have to say men. I speak and work with women, but there are men that have experiences like this as well. And that's how we think we're taking care of people. And on the flip side of it is we're absolutely just continuing to put ourselves deeper and deeper into this despair of never feeling like we can get out of it.
And so yes, I agree with all of that. Yes. But okay. So one practice I think that is really important that so many people get lost in this like frenzy of just survival. And it is hard to reground themselves. So do you have something that I know you mentioned putting your hand on your chest and on your belly? Are there other techniques to help? And this may not be the cure-all for healing, especially if you're still in this relationship, but something to even just for a moment reground yourself, to clear your mind, to be able to figure out what to do next.
Yeah, so definitely that calming your central nervous system is one way to do. Anytime you can ground yourself, that is extremely important, putting yourself in a space of protection. When you can ground and protect. A mentor of mine taught me what she calls GCP, ground, clear, protect. And I'd love to just send it through quick, just share it. Could I take you through it and allow your listeners also?
Yes, I would love that. Let's do it.
So for everybody that is listening, if you're driving, you can do this. Just keep your eyes open. If you're not driving and you're able to close your eyes, and definitely please do that. So what I want you to do right now is just take eyes closed, take a deep breath in through your nose. Exhale out through your mouth. And now I want you to see, this is the G, the ground. I want you to see the center of Earth, Mother Earth. I want you to see an element that she's going to send up to you. It might be tree roots. It might be pebbles. It might be rocks. Anything. It could be feathers. It could be cotton balls. Whatever is unique to you, Mother Earth is sending it up to you right now. Through Earth, coming all the way up. Now you feel it in the bottom of your feet. And I want you to just let this element come all the way up into your legs, into your hips, into your belly, into your chest, the front of your face, coming to the top of your head, allowing it to go down the back of your head, down your neck, all the way down the center of your back, feeling it coming down to the back into your butt cheeks and then down the backs of your legs and right back out the bottom of your feet, all the way down into Mother Earth. Notice how you feel so grounded. Literally right now, I feel like if my chair were to flip upside down, I would be still stuck to the chair. Important to note, if this doesn't feel like that for you, practice, 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 and you'll get it. So that was ground. Now we clear. Go to the top of your head. That's your crown chakra. Wind, water, fire, dirt. That's earth. One of those elements will feel strong for you. Again, wind, fire, water, dirt. See whichever comes forward for you. Don't judge it, just trust it. And now, whatever that element is, for me right now it's fire. See it come through the top of your head and watch that element flush all the way through your body. And as it's flushing, you'll notice you feel like an opening, almost like coolness coming through your entire body. You might see puffs of black or puffs of dark color or puffs of yuck. Sometimes we hear sounds leaving our body. Sometimes we get energy moving through our entire body. Bring all that element all the way through the bottom of your feet. Just feel how your body is just opening up. It's clearing, 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 clearing. And now we go to the P, the protect. At the bottom of your feet, you see this glass plate. Choose in this moment the intention of thickness. Do you want it 2 inches, 5 inches, 10 inches? How thick do you need this bubble we're going to create to be for protection? And now, I want you to see this bubble come all the way up around you, surrounding you, front, back, sides, all the way to the top, and you hear it close. And if now it's like you're locked tight inside this bubble. And I want you to go from stand on the outside, look in, stand on the outside, turn and look and see yourself inside this bubble. See yourself protected in that bubble. Feel that in your heart, how that makes you feel. And now, all negative energy bounces off my bubble. And only that for which is of my highest good is allowed inside my bubble. Thank you. It is done. It is done. Thank you. And now you can open your eyes.
That's so cool.
Yeah. And so now you just notice that things feel clear. Anything that was there that was penetrating your mind, making you feel unsettled, feeling like you just couldn't show up as yourself, it's not there. And I feel so open. My mind isn't cascading with all this noise that's not mine. It's totally mine. Mm-hmm. Now, it's important to know if something is still there, you're being triggered by something, it means there's something in that situation that you need to be dealing with. And oftentimes in abusive situations, obviously we know what there is that needs to be dealt with. And once you do the GCP and you continue to use this, you begin to get that protection really strong. That means things, people start coming in that help you move through this in a healthy, safe way, and gives you that ability to be able to exit out of that situation or see the situation improve in a way that you never thought was possible.
So is that something that you do routinely with your intuitive healing?
Every single morning, I sit on the edge of my bed and I do that immediately. There is nothing I do except for that very first thing in the morning. I did it before I came on here to make sure I cleared everything out so that I was ready to be with you. And also periodically throughout the day when I've spent time with people, when we're out, when we have somebody that comes in our life that is not safe for us, it's very important for us to be aware of that. We're happy, we're singing. Many of your listeners know that. They're like, man, I was singing and dancing and I was cooking and I was whistling and I was feeling so good. And all of a sudden I just felt my energy just plummet out of me. Like it was gone. And I felt like I had to go to the corner and I needed to go into fetal position. Your energy was just being attacked by somebody that verbally, mentally, physically attacks you.
Now, since you are so aware of all of this, can you get those feelings from if you passed somebody by on the street? Do you get those sensations from people that you've never met before?
Instantly, the hair on the back of my neck rises. Instantly, I feel like something's crawling across my back and I just know something's not okay. Yeah, absolutely.
And is that just, so the intuitive part, is that just recognizing, really listening to what's happening to your body?
Listening, being aware, trusting. That's, it's so easy for us to hear or feel something or get this knowing and then just brushing it off, being like, oh, you're just being ridiculous. You're being ridiculous. The thing to know with intuition is never fight or flight, like fear based. It's always calm. It's always going to sound like your voice, and it's going to be, you probably should look to your right in this moment very slowly. It's just very, very calm and peaceful, giving you this advice that you need. And you just know, I should probably look to my right now, versus like, oh my gosh, something's in here and I'm scared and it's going to be bad. And then nothing happens. And then you're frustrated with yourself that you put yourself through this. That was your ego. That was your ego speaking, and it was not your intuition.
Okay. And some people might call that being psychic, right?
Yes. Some people call it psychic. Yeah. Yes.
So I've probably said this before on this podcast, but my daughter, when she was around 6 or 7 years old, we were at an event and I was taking a little bit of extra time with her brother. And it was an event that was very small. We knew everybody that was there. And I told her, go ahead and get started. You know all these people. And she said she looked and saw the man who was at the end, at the beginning of this event, somebody that we knew really, really well. And she said, no, he's there and he puts a very bad feeling in my tummy. And
Yeah.
I was blown away with her ability to recognize it and actually say it out loud. I was so proud of her. And I said, "What did you just say?" She's like, "Am I in trouble?" And I said, "No, I am in awe of you. That's your body telling you that something's not okay." And
Yes.
I don't know. I know I talked about this before with somebody, but that's okay. I know that I was taught to not pay attention to those
Right.
things.
Yeah.
This was the time where people would say, your parents would say, "Go give that person a hug." And you would say, "I don't know who they are. I don't want to give them a hug."
Yeah.
Just do it anyway. It's rude to not give that person
Yeah.
a hug. Or if somebody gave you a bad feeling, you were rude for having a bad feeling about them.
Yes.
So you
Yes.
learned to put yourself past your own uncomfort or discomfort, and everybody else's comfort level and their expectations took priority over your feelings.
1,000%. Ingrid, you hit this. And this is what I talk about in my keynote is as little girls, we were taught, because if we go back years back when I was young, even the boys weren't encouraged to do that. The boys weren't told, "Go give this person a hug, do this." It was the girls. And we as young girls were taught that we're not supposed to be too much. We're not supposed to be rude. We're supposed to be exactly what others want us to be. We're supposed to show up and be prim and proper. And if somebody were to make us feel something, then we're being overly dramatic and we need to pull it together and we need to knock it off because we don't rock boats. We're good girls. And that has caused us to put ourselves into so much harm's way time and time again because we've shut ourselves down. We've told ourselves, you can't feel emotions. You shouldn't feel emotions. It's not okay to feel emotions. Don't be too much. You can feel them behind closed doors by yourself all you want, but when it comes to being in public, you sure as hell don't be telling people that this person makes you feel this or you're scared of this. You keep it shut down under lock and key. And that has what has caused us women to step into situations that have been so volatilely not okay for us because we have told ourselves you cannot advocate for yourself. If it's going to make somebody else uncomfortable, absolutely not.
Yeah, I have felt that up until just the most recent few years of my life, and not even romantic relationships, even friendships. I've put myself in such uncomfortable situations, and I have been friends with people that drained every ounce of energy and brought nothing good to my life, that I finally realized and said, "Hey, listen, I this friendship does nothing for me. And it's not that I'm expecting you to give me things, but if I'm being drained and I'm not seeing any good benefit out of this, then I'm not going to put any effort into this anymore." And I've had people say, "Well, can I still say we're friends?" I'm like, "I don't care what you say. I
Right.
really don't care what you say, but I'm no longer going to put in any effort to talk to you or to," and it sounds cold and
Mhm.
heartless, but once I did that, I felt so freed, and I realized that this person was just bringing me down, and it wasn't in a negative way, and
Yeah.
it was not a healthy friendship, so why continue it?
Exactly. And I'm going to invite you to think of it a different way than being cold and harsh and anything like that, and see it as being sovereign. You are like absolutely being sovereign. I mean, that's the thing about boundaries is that when you're sovereign, you don't need boundaries because you absolutely are like, I don't want people that drain me. I'm not letting people in my life that aren't safe for me. When I feel this, that's me saying no to this because it's not okay for me. We don't have to put up those boundaries when we're in that state of sovereignty because we know that we are our vessel of protection. Boundaries are meant for us to keep ourselves in a box and not out there and allowing people to hurt us, and I think that's the misconception about boundaries is we're like, if we put the boundaries up, then he can't come through it. That's not what boundaries are about. Boundaries are about us. And that's why boundaries are so easily just forgotten or dismantled because we're not keeping ourselves in that state of sovereignty and making sure that our boundaries are in place and practicing the expectations for ourselves that are going to keep us safe.
Yeah. And that all starts with listening to your body. I stop myself so many times throughout the day. If I start to feel uneasy, I will stop and think, where is this in my body? And is this something that I recognize? Do I recognize this feeling? What is this feeling from? But I want to talk more about what you do, not about me. So, because I'm so interested in this. So, can you explain more? I know we've touched a little bit on intuitive healing, but what does that whole process look like? And all of it, all the
Yeah.
things.
So it starts with me having a consult with the woman that comes to me and explains to me the situation of what has occurred, what's happening, why is it that she believes that she's needing healing? Is there a situation in her life that's been happening? Is there a pattern that she's finding herself continuously looping through over and over? So there's so many different reasons of why someone is wanting healing. It might be weight loss, it might be depression, anxiety, just not being able to get what they're wanting in life. Maybe it's shifting a career or feeling stuck. Sometimes it is domestic violence or just feeling like they're lost and disconnected. So a lot of different scenarios. It's personalized to each individual. Once we've done that consult, then I have the ability, whether they're in person in my healing studio or virtually, I'm connecting with their body, pulling them in. And what I'm doing is I'm doing a scan to discover where I feel that we have some inner blocks, energetic blocks. Just like we've got our circulatory system where the blood is flowing through. If we start having blockages, we've got the possibility of heart attacks, strokes. Same as with our energy. If our energy system, if we've got blocks within our body, it also causes us to have health issues, mental health. It can cause us to have dis-ease, which can bring on a whole multitude of sicknesses that arise in our body. Also just really pulls us out of alignment with being our truth, happiness, all of those things. So I'm scanning to discover, where is it that I feel this in the body? Then what I'm doing is I'm actually connecting with their 9 different body energy points. So it starts from the top of their head down to their root, which is where our chakras run, from the top of our head to the base of our spine, that root chakra. And on each of these energy points, they're channels. And what I do is I am connecting in, I've connected with their soul, I've pulled them in, I'm releasing out. And I do this because that's what I do, with one hand on them. Or if it's virtual, I have my little individual and I've got the points that I'm pressing and I'm releasing out the negative. So if it's on the top of the head, it's guilt. And this can come from many different life experiences. The most interesting and the most common that we don't connect with is, for women especially, is if there was some sort of pain in their birthing experience for their mom, if their mom experienced something really difficult in the birthing experience, that puts a lot of guilt on us girls at the birth as we're being born. So imagine I'm 46, almost 47. If I still had that within me, because that was one of the things, that guilt, it just keeps me clouded. I remember just feeling so guilty about everything. Once I cleared that, I was able to release it out and move past it. So I'm releasing out the guilt, and then I'm integrating in the positive, which is going to be innocence, releasing it out, removing it out. This opens our body up and gives us freedom from all of this low frequency energy, this negativity, these blocks. We get that energy flow where we're able, you just feel like you're floating and you feel good and you feel happy and you feel relieved. And it gives you that ability to not be bringing in all this negativity, because your internal world is a reflection of your external world. Like, I got to say that again, your internal world is a reflection of your external world. So what's going on in here is what you're creating in your external world. So if you're being hurt often by people, if you're attracting people that are mean, that are hurtful, that are harming you, drop in and ask yourself, what's your internal world doing? How do you treat yourself? When you look in the mirror, if you were me in the past, I'd look in the mirror and I would call myself horrible names. I was mean to myself. Well, my internal world was all about hate and pain and abuse. I was abusing myself. That's what my external world was.
I'm going to interrupt for a second. Would that apply to for there are individuals out there that just seem to always have bad luck. Not
Yes.
necessarily that the world's abusing them, but it's my car broke down on my way to work. And then so I got fired. And when I got fired, I couldn't pay my rent. And now I'm getting evicted. And it's like all these things. And it's always the I can't catch a break kind of mentality.
Yes. Yes. And this is a
Okay.
yes and
Oh,
moment.
okay. Okay.
Yeah. Yes, that can be it, and oftentimes is. And it could be that the universe is guiding you because the universe always knows what's best for you. Maybe that job is draining you. Maybe in the very near future, something terrible is going to happen in that building, in that job that you're at. And so the universe has been trying to give you signs to say, babe, you need to exit this job. And you're ignoring it. You're ignoring it. You're fighting it tooth and nail. You're staying there. Everything is falling apart, but you're staying there. You're like, not going, like, not going. So the universe is like, it says, all right, I need to do something bigger. So I'm going to cause her car to break down, his car to break down. Therefore, they're going to get fired and they have to go to a new job. Sometimes when you pay attention, all of a sudden you find the building burnt down. The building burnt down 6 weeks after you got fired. That is not coincidental. So that car in that moment, sometimes when it breaks down, it happened for you.
Right.
So
like
that's a yes and moment.
Okay. Like the stories of 9/11 when somebody slept through their alarm and didn't get to work on time.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes.
And okay, so I have a friend who it doesn't say universe, but says God. Sometimes God closes a door that you don't have the strength to close yourself. So I think it's a similar mindset, right?
Yeah. And I
Okay.
speak to all. Each individual is different. God, the universe, higher power. For me, it's all three of them. So each is different. Definitely God will do that too. God has the power to be able to shut that car down. Like he can take the tire off if he wants.
Yes. And I know, and I may offend people that are listening or not, I'm not sure, but I know there are some Christians who feel that if you are paying attention to the universe, that is something that is not Christian-like. But I consider myself a Christian, but I also am I do try to be very in tuned to energy and the universe around me. I think it's all like you. I think it's all intertwined.
I do too. Yeah. I also, a lot of people get offended when I speak that way. I always try to be careful because I know that some people are very God, like that's their one and only. And I respect that because I'm not here to tell anybody that they can't. I also respect myself. I'm very sovereign in that. And so I will speak all three. And so sometimes though, I just roll with universe. And there are moments when I need to roll with the universe because I need to open some ears up and I need it to really land for some people that need to hear it. Kind of like Tony Robbins, he drops the F-bomb. Like I totally am fine with saying the word, but I'm always careful on certain platforms, right? Because I don't know, but he will, and he says it. I say the word fuck because sometimes I need to make you sit up straight because I say a word that just made your back just go doot like this. And so sometimes that word universe will trigger people in a way that makes them sit up and say, what did you just say? And then my message can land. Because if you're like this, there's oftentimes my message is going over here, but I say something that makes you sit up. It enters, it centers, it lands.
And in the same respect, sometimes when people say Christianity or God, it closes people off immediately.
Yes.
Unfortunately.
Fear.
But yeah.
Yes. Understandably so. Yeah.
And yeah, I'm the same. I don't judge anyone. And I like be sovereign with what you believe. So, okay. So sorry, I interrupted the yes and.
No, don't be sorry. Don't be sorry.
Did you finish that thought? The yes and part?
I did.
Okay.
I did.
Okay. All right. So more. I want more about the intuitive healing.
So in the session, as an intuitive, I am connected. So I've connected in with a heart link. I send a heart link up into the seventh plane, which is where God is, God, the universe, the higher power. And that heart link is connected to Archangel Ariel. And so she's my full-on guide up there. And I'm connected to her. So if I was doing a healing with you, my heart link would go from my heart chakra right into the center of your your heart. And so now I'm connected with you. And I did connect this to you automatically. Like I feel your energy, I feel your calm, I feel your zing of interest and excitement. And I'm like watching, I can feel like you're like looking at the time and you're like, oh my gosh, I've got this much time left and I just have so much more to ask. Like you're just kind of on the seat of right. And so in that, as I'm being guided, I am intuitively receiving messages. So for instance, this last weekend I was doing a healing and I instantly knew that she'd been raped. And I felt it. The word came in and then I saw and I knew the age and I knew that it was a family. Like I knew family. So they give me these little snippets of information. So first of all, it was rape. Then they showed me about the age range and then they gave me the word family in a male figure. So I knew that that was what it is. And I'm always very careful. And so my question to her was, have you ever been touched in a way that didn't feel very good? And she opened immediately. And so I was then able to say, were you around the age of 13? And she said, yes. And I said, and it was a family member, male. And she said, yes. And so then my next question to her was, is it okay if we release this out of your body now? And she said, yes. And in that moment, when she gave me permission, she opened. Instantly, her whole body opened. Cellularly, it opened. I saw things opening and I was able to release it out and I was able to pull it. So it's coming out of my hand and it comes into that heart link and it goes all the way up. And the beautiful part about it going up now is we've alchemized it into love, peace, and healing. And then as I integrate in, I'm able to bring in that positive and I'm able to heal her. So now what was cellularly poured and stored in her body was this experience of being raped. We now replace that with joy, with positivity, with love, with innocence. And we've taken that out of her. And the reason why this is so important to me is because when we live in that state of reliving that experience over and over, one, we're attracting more in of the same kind of stuff, or we're keeping ourselves small, we're playing safe, we're affecting our bodies. We have 4 bodies: physical, emotional, mental, spiritual. We don't know like it's affecting us till it gets to the physical because we're not aware. When we're sick, when we've got high blood pressure, when we've got diabetes, mental health issues, when we're going a cancer diagnosis, this thing that is in our body has decayed us so long. It started in the spiritual and now it is festered in and we have been dealing with it for years and years and years. And it's not till it gets in our physical that we're aware of it. These healing sessions give me the ability to pull it out so that we don't have to get to that state of being on that. And of course, it's each life experience. So much healing can be done.
Do you feel that that happens in one session, or is that something sometimes that it takes multiple sessions for you to feel that full release?
Both. You will feel that full release in one session. And it's very important to know that all of my clients, everybody, we're all our own healers. I'm a vessel. If you're not open to heal, there's nothing I can do. It's like that statement, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. It's the same thing. I cannot heal anybody that is not open to heal themselves. So sometimes if they fall asleep, that's the best situation. If they feel resistant to it, is they just go to sleep. Now it's me and their subconscious mind, and it is full on party time. Yeah.
Okay. So I was about to ask so if somebody's in your studio versus somebody virtually, what are they doing when you're doing all of this? Are they looking at you? Are their eyes closed? How does that work?
Eyes are closed if they're comfortable. If they need their eyes open, I've had women that have had such volatile experiences that closing their eyes is very, very uncomfortable. They don't feel safe. So if their eyes are open, it's open. If they want to look at me and watch me, they can look at me and watch me. I just meet them with love and appreciation and I just hold them. Sometimes I know, like I'll hear, you need to hold their gaze in this moment. And there are times when I'm holding their gaze, it's because what I'm pulling out, they feel in their body, and it's surfacing and surfacing. And they just need that connection, that gaze, for them to hold on to it, to know I'm okay, I'm okay, I'm okay. It's kind of like that baby. When that baby is really sad, he or she just needs to look in mom's eyes to be like, I'm okay. And that look of reassurance on mom's face helps that baby get through that moment. That's how it is with my clients at times, because some of the experiences have been really, really very, I mean, dark, deep experiences. Virtually, same. Like if they want their eyes open or if they're comfortable with their eyes closed, whatever works for them. Usually they're laying or they can sit back. In my studio, I have them lay. If it's virtual, some would like just sit back in like an ottoman type chair with their, or a recliner type chair with their feet up, or they lay. So whatever is most comfortable to my clients.
Okay. And then, so I'm so interested in this. So virtually, do you have to actually be able to see them? Like, are they scanning their themselves with a phone or laptop, whatever they're using? Or is it just their virtual presence? You're able to read them and do all of this?
I can do it without a video because I can connect. I personally love to be able to see their face. That tells me how they are. I can see the color in their face. I can see if there's tears. I can see if they're getting frustrated. I can see if there's fear. I am very, very in tune to my clients, so I can feel it. It just really feels so comforting to me to know that I can tell my client that when I'm watching you, I'm very aware of how you're feeling and I'm guiding you and I'm checking in. So for me, I want to see my client's face so that I know that I'm supporting them in all ways that I can. I feel it. I know when they're triggered. I feel it coming through, and I always let them know. I'm like, all right, in this moment, I know that you're feeling this in your right knee, and your right knee has some intense pain right now. And they're always like, yeah, it hurts so bad. So I can feel that and I know it. Again, for me, it's just that next level care for my women.
Okay. And how long does it take to do all this?
So hour and a half is how long it takes just to calm them, get them in, connect, talk about it, and then to go through the process of it. An hour and a half is typically the length of it. I am adding in, I have a couple additional things that I'm adding in. So I have a 2-hour session, and one is an ocean drum. It's actually being shipped in from Romania. It's a handcrafted, it's just absolutely unbelievable. It's wooden, it's a drum. And so I'll move over and just bring them into the state of calm to start, whether it's in my studio or again, virtually. So that's that way to relax them and calm their central nervous system. Cause sometimes it's like going to the dentist. I hate to compare myself to the dentist, but when you're going in, there is that like, what's going to come up? I'm so afraid. And there's shame. Oh my gosh. One of the things that we release is shame. And some women are so afraid that I'm going to judge them. So they're like ridden with the shame of what is she going to uncover? What is she going to see? And there's fear, because I will find things from 8 lifetimes ago and say, wow, you lived a life like Cinderella, and then I bring this in and we connect the dots. And she's like, that's why I am this way. Now I get it. And so there is like that uncertainty. So my intention with this is to fully calm them, bring them into a state of full-on release, ready to be open to receive so we can pull it out. And then I have tuning forks to tune in the chakras in their full-on body. So
Okay. And then do you have any clients who just do like a maintenance type of thing? I don't even
yeah,
know if that's the right term.
it is. Yeah,
Okay.
it is. It would be like touch up, kind of like that, right? So that's usually right around 20 to 30 minutes, just a simple touch up, just going through, usually just one pass through. We do a nice touch up on that.
So are you ever able to turn this off for yourself? Or are you always feeling something from somebody?
I can turn it off. I have to be very aware that I need to turn it off. And in the very beginning, I was wide open. It was like I was a dam, and the dam was just gushing and I was hit by everything. I'd be sitting here and all of a sudden my husband's grandma would be standing in front of me. Like I'd be looking, I would know. And I'm like, oh, like what? Like I would get, and so I was like, okay, you have to shut this off. You can't be doing this. And then I literally shut the dam off and we dried up. So I had to work to open it and learn to have balance to receive. And my guides, I work with 5 spiritual guides, and Quan, my main guide, is very, very good at like shutting me down when I need to be shut down. And he's very good at opening me up when I need to be open as well. So yeah, I do shut it down. I'm not always good at it. Sometimes if there's an experience that I experience that is coming from a life experience that I've not healed fully through, I will be over triggered and very open to it in moments I wish that I was shut down. Yeah.
How did you meet your guides? I know I have really weird questions.
You do not have weird questions. Not at all. I love these questions. Oh my gosh. I actually invited them to come in. So I just sat with it. I intuitively asked, if I were to know, how many spirit guides do I have? That's how I speak. I learned that in neuro linguistic programming, NLP. I work with dismantling and releasing limiting beliefs in my women as well. And all of a sudden the number 5 came forward. And so then I took 5 pieces of paper and I set it in where I'm sitting now in my living room and my dining room area. And then I went into my kitchen and I just walked up to one and I said, so who are you? And they just gave me all this information. And I wrote, and said, so if you were to have a name, what would your name be? And they gave me the name. Not everybody gets a name. Some people name their guides. I was grateful that they gave me theirs. And then they told me why their purpose was of being in my life. Most times with our guides, they come in because they experience something in their life of being alive that resembles us, that allows them to guide us the best that they can. So, yeah.
This is so interesting. Are there other intuitive healers that is there a network that you all talk to each other? How does that work?
Yes, I am finally allowing myself to be open to it. Our conversation earlier about God and just people hear the word God like shut down. I had an experience of stepping into my intuition, being a healer, being a psychic, a medium, whatever you want to call it. And people that were in the church started to bash me, throw very, very evil things my way and really hurt me. So I shut myself down. I got rid of it. I got rid of all my stuff and said, you will never do this again. You will never be a healer. And a year later, I was pushed very hard to open myself back up. It was losing my sister that made that final coming home happen. It's always sad to me that some devastating thing in our life that just breaks us is why we finally choose ourselves, right? And so I have shut that down for a long time of putting it out there and connecting with other healers. And now I've got a nice network of women and men that are healers that I learn from, that I speak with. And in fact, at the end of this month, we have like a healer get together and we're all coming together. We're bringing our modalities. Yeah.
I was wondering if there was like a healer retreat or something that you guys do.
Yeah, not a retreat yet. I look forward to that. I know they're out there. So I look forward to that experience.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. This is so interesting. I'm trying to think if there's any other questions. Is there anything that I didn't ask?
Oh, you've asked amazing questions. I've loved all of them. I think, what I would say to this is the importance of, okay, this is what I'll say. Because some people are getting a little like uneasy about it because they're like, well, I don't want to be intuitive if it means that I have to be a healer and do this crazy shit she does. Here's what the important thing to know is everybody has intuition. Everybody has this ability. We need it. It is ingrained in us on purpose. God gave it to us. So whoever you speak to. And with that being said, your intuition is meant to be there to protect you, to guide you, take you through life. It's not everybody's meant to be there to use their intuition to heal people. That's not everybody's purpose in this lifetime. And so your intuition, if you can learn to hear and listen to yourself and allow yourself to be sovereign, so many women will not enter into relationships that are not best suited for them, that are not for their highest good. So I cannot express enough the importance of letting ourselves be guided by our own intuition and be protected by that, and to be open to healing, the importance of that. Because as a woman, for myself, again, I got stuck in believing that nothing could get me out of this situation. When I was in that very abusive relationship, I believed that this is just what it was. And I didn't get to choose to get out of it because this was my life and I had to figure it out. It's you get what you get and you don't throw a fit. Like that statement they teach in elementary school. And if I would have listened to my intuition, I never would have stepped into that relationship to begin with.
Yeah. So, are there any tricks or tips for that people can use to learn how to cue into their own intuition? Because, like you
Yeah.
said, we're all taught to not listen to it.
Yes. So if you're standing flat on your feet, some people will do this best if they're out connected with earth itself, bare feet. It's Minnesota. I'm just not doing it. I love you all, but I'm not at that level of love yet or ever. But so you can do it inside. And if you're standing, you do a muscle test or a body test. And so if you go forward, it's like you're saying yes. It's like, come to me. If you go back, it's like repelling. It's no. So you can do this with everything. You can do this with supplements that you're taking. Maybe you're taking fish oil and you want to know, is fish oil good for my body? And you can just drop into it, close your eyes, take a breath in and breathe out and just say, is fish oil good for my body? And I'm leaning forward. That's a yes. So my body needs it. Now, if I were to say, is drinking pop every day a good choice for my body? I'm naturally being pulled backwards. It's like you let your body do this. And it's tricky at first because you're like, well, of course pop's not good. Like you want to go backwards on your own. Or sometimes we want to get the answer we want, so we try to force it. So it's just being relaxed in it and just noticing where your body goes. This is important to know because your body will do this to you when you're talking to people. If you're ever in a grocery store line, notice what you do. All of a sudden you feel like you're going backwards, you're like going forward. Notice your movement. Your body is telling you, go away. This is not somebody you want to be with. You feel like you got to back away. That's your body saying this is not a good person. Or you feel compelled to be like, oh man, I just want to hug this person. That's your body saying she's good, he's good, like this is good for you. Or if you ever notice you start swaying back and forth, this is your body somatically wanting to calm itself because you're feeling really, really overwhelmed, energetically pegged, something's going on. So you start rocking yourself to calm yourself. Your body, like, listen. And when you do that, just like you do, you said this earlier, you start asking your body. When you notice that, you can say, what's making my body say no to this? And then just let yourself, you might hear it, you might see it, you might just know it. You might just know. Or God, the universe, the higher power will send you a sign, and something about that, what that guide does is like, ooh, I see now. I see why I'm going back. So you intuitively let yourself know, yay, nay, or whatever else you need to know from your body.
So cool. And that makes sense. I read a book on reading other people and how to make other people like, not that you're making other people like you, but what are characteristics that you can do to make yourself appear to be more approachable to others?
Mhm.
And what are cues that other people are giving that they're approachable? It's like a friend or foe sort of
Yeah.
read. But I guess that's a similar thing, leaning forward or leaning backwards, is
Yes.
your body's just automatically telling you. This is so
It
cool.
does.
This is so cool. Okay, so how would people, if people want to learn more about you, if they want to schedule something with you, how do they get in touch with you?
Yeah. So the best place to find me would be on my website, and I'll give you all the links. So Tara dash, like in a telephone number, Wiskow.com, www.tara-wiskow.com. That's my website. Gives you an overage, lets you know me, tells you my whole story. And then also on Facebook, you'll find me there. And then on Instagram, Instagram is Tara.Wiskow. That's where you'll find me. I have a couple of different profiles. I can't figure out how to shut the one down. So just make sure you go to the dot.
I'm the same way. I think I have all these weird profiles floating out there.
Yes, I know. They're so beautiful. It's easy to create, and then you can't figure out how to get rid of it, which speaks to me when I say that. See, this is how the spirit works, because all of a sudden when I say that, I'm like, oh, like life is so great. Connection is so great. But then we get connected with somebody that gives us crap, and then we don't know how to release it and get rid of it. See how like they work? They give you those
Yes.
moments. Like I said
Mm-hmm.
that, I'm like, oh, all right, there we
Mm-hmm.
go. Anyway.
Okay. It's so cool. All right. And I guess in closing, which I don't want to do because this is so interesting, but all good things must come to an end, right? Okay. So do you have any words of encouragement or wisdom that you would like to specifically leave with listeners today?
Oh my gosh. I'm going to say that no matter what you've experienced in life, no matter what's going on in your life right now, it's not happening to you because you deserve to be punished, because you deserve to be unhappy, because you deserve to not know you or be your truest version of yourself. There's no truth in that. There are lessons that are there for you, and the lessons will be received once you open up to loving yourself in that space where you choose to tell yourself that I am worthy of love. When you look in the mirror every single day and just connect with yourself and speak kindness to yourself, you will connect with that to know that there is so much more available to you in this world, in this lifetime, that you are beautiful, you are a light, you are love, you are loved, you are joy. And no matter the place that you're at, please know that you can choose to go deeper into the depth of the darkness, or you can choose to start climbing out. And I know in this moment you don't feel strong enough to climb out, but I promise you that you are strong enough. All I need you to do is find that one spot where your foot will be able to get the leverage that it needs. And then I need you to reach up, and I need you to reach up, and I need you to reach up for you. Not reach up so that you can climb out of that hole for anybody else in your life. Not reach up looking for somebody else to save you, because you don't need somebody else to save you right now. Right now, coming up and out of that dark place that you're in is about you. And when you reach up and you start finding the ways to come out, people that are there will naturally step in and help you, that are there to love you and guide you through.
That was so beautiful. Thank you so much, Tara.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you for today and our conversation. I
Yes.
truly have loved being a guest here and just getting to connect with you.
I've loved every minute of this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you again, Tara, for joining me today, and thank you, Warriors, for listening. I've included the links Tara was referring to, as well as her 1 in 3 profile, in the show notes. I will be back next week with another episode for you. Until then, stay strong, and wherever you are in your journey, always remember you are not alone. Find more information, register as a guest, or leave a review by going to the website 1in3podcast.com. That's the number 1, IN, the number 3, podcast.com. Follow 1 in 3 on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at 1 in 3 podcast. To help me out, please remember to rate, review, and subscribe. 1 in 3 is a .5 Pinoy production. Music written and performed by Tim Crow.